It is Wednesday, April 8th. Another day down, another day closer to spring break. Thank you so much for watching. If you are sitting down at your computer, your tablet, your device, and you are watching this, it makes me think you want to get better. If you're sitting here watching this and you got a 5 yesterday, that's EOG effort. You're just looking for new ways to solve these questions. I love it. So before we get into these, this will be your third opportunity to do these 5 questions. You've already done it twice. Hopefully we're climbing. Remember, on Wednesday, it's no excuse Wednesday. We should not be moving back on a Wednesday. So we shouldn't be going from a 5 to a 4 or a 4 to a 3, whatever it may be. Because, guys, you've got this video. If you're struggling with something, don't keep struggling. Watch this video, and it can give you some new ideas on how to get these questions right. So hopefully that climb continues. And I'm just thinking about last week's Fan 5. I get to thinking about my own students, like, are these kids actually watching these videos? Because number 5 was our most missed question on Monday last week. Okay, no big deal. But then it was the most missed on Tuesday and the most missed on Wednesday, and it's not showing any improvement. So guys, make sure you're watching these videos, taking some notes, and it will get better. And thank you so much if you were one of those people who were doing that. So we do have a special guest that we're going to bring in here for our final question. Don't forget, reach out if you want to be a part of virtual math. Let's go ahead and dive in here. We're going to look at number 1. It says, Mr. Huber has gone 48 days without watching sports. He has been miserable for 5/6 of those days and happy for the rest. How many days was he happy? First of all, this question is not true. The 48 days, I don't know if it's been 48 days, but however many days it's been, 6/6 of those days I have been miserable. I can't even talk about it because it's going to just upset me. So, same thing we did yesterday. Again, you could do some multiplication here. But what I would do is, if I'm finding the fraction of a whole number is, I think yesterday was kids, today it's days. Here's the picture I would draw. There are my 48 days, okay? And it said 5/6 of them are sad. That means I need to take these 48 days and split them into 6ths. Get a different color here. Once you have a picture, you're going to give me an equation that matches it. I just took 48 days, split it into 6. I'm essentially doing 48 divided by 6, which equals 8. Again, 8 may be the answer, it may not be. It depends what the question is asking. But what you need to know about that 8 is it's representing how many days are in each of those 6. So 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, and 8. Now just read the problem and label these 8s. 5/6, miserable. Trouble arrow, miserable. The rest of the days, happy. The question says, how many days was Mr. Huber happy? And if you look at your picture, that answer would have been 1. The answer that I really would not have wanted to see would have been 40. If you did 40, you did perfect math, but you didn't answer the question. You told me how many days I was miserable, and that's not what the question asked. So it's essentially the same type of question as yesterday, just worded differently. You're looking for what it didn't give you. So again, a math test is like a reading test. If you draw that picture, label everything, it puts the answer right in front of your face. But again, I really, really like that picture for finding the fraction of a whole number. Moving right along to number 2. Again, I told you yesterday you could have those notes open as you did this, but it says name the triangle below by its sides and angles. And again, we're going to split that up. Right now, we'll just focus on the sides. Now, I went ahead and measured the length for us. One side is 4, one side is 3, one side is 5. None of those are the same. So again, you just have to know your vocabulary. If we have a triangle with no equal sides, that makes it a scalene triangle. So if you look down at your answer choices, Guys, there's only one choice up there that says scalene, and that would be C. And you know it's a right scalene because you've got your right angle posted right there. You could have gotten rid of B as soon as you saw that right angle, just because you know an acute triangle has to have 3 acute angles. But again, if you know your vocabulary, number 2, there's not a whole lot I can say there besides go back to that presentation from last week, maybe make some flashcards. Other than that, if you know that vocabulary, you're getting that one right every time. So that one was pretty quick. 3 and 4 take us a little bit longer. And I think I said yesterday I really like these 2 questions specifically. Number 3 says, Shaq is 7 3/6 feet tall, and Kevin is 6 5/6 feet tall. How tall are the 2 combined? So when you see combined, you should pretty quickly know that you've got to add those together. So I've got 7 3/6. Just pretend that's a 3. There we go. Plus 6 5/6. All right. So we know there's a whole bunch of rules and different things you got to do when it comes to subtracting mixed numbers. But when we're adding, we just get to kind of knock it out. So I always tell my children, let's start with the whole numbers. We'll do 7 plus 6. That would give us 13. Then we can add the fractions. 3/6 plus 5/6. The denominators are the same, so I can add them. And that's going to give me 8/6. I'd be willing to bet 99.9% of the time they're never going to give you this as an answer. Okay, so if you know that math is right, mental checklist, don't panic, don't choose something that looks close. Ask yourself, do I have an improper fraction? I do. You guys know you can take an improper fraction, convert it to a mixed number. Now, the 13's good. Don't forget the 13. Go ahead and rewrite the 13 over here, circle it, put a star, do whatever you got to do. So instead, we're going to take 8/6 and we're going to convert it. That fraction bar means divided by, okay? So I got to go 8 divided by 6. How many whole times can 6 go into 8? It can go in 1 whole time. So that's my whole number. Because 6 times 1 gets me to 6 when I'm trying to get to 8. My numerator is going to come from that remainder, from the difference between that. So 6 times 1 got me to 6. I need to get to 8. What's left? What's my remainder? That would be 2. And per usual, denominator doesn't change. Now, hopefully you didn't forget about that 13, because the last thing you got to do is you got to add those together. 13 plus 1 2/6 would give me 14 2/6. Again, that is not an answer choice. Do not panic. Go through the mental checklist. First thing I always ask, do I have an improper fraction? I don't. Next question I try to ask, can I simplify it? Well, guys, looking at that fraction, I've got 2 even numbers. I can simplify it. And again, the 14 is fine. Go ahead and rewrite it. Circle it if you have to. I'm only simplifying the fraction. So you list your factors. 1 and 2 for the numerator. For the denominator, you've got 1, 2, 3, and 6. Then you have to find your GCF, greatest common factor, which in this case would be 2. And then divide numerator and denominator by that GCF, which would simplify down to 1/3. And 14 1/3 would be C. So you could get D if you converted that to a mixed number and then forgot about the whole number, but then you would have just done some bad math if you're choosing A or B, or maybe choosing something that you thought looked close because you didn't take the time to go through that mental checklist. So I think yesterday we said, hey, that could either be a 1-step problem or it could turn into a 2 or 3-step problem, depending on if you have to convert anything or if you have to simplify. So really it just comes down to what answer choices they give you. So I like that question. Pat on the back for yourself if you're getting that one correct. All right, last but not least, number 4, it says Reagan and Janita were running a race. Janita finished in 5 54/100 minutes, and Reagan finished in 8 74/100 minutes. How many minutes longer did Reagan take than Janita? So how many minutes longer, again, is going to lead you down a path of subtraction. And logically, that makes sense because your answer choices are getting smaller. So I can line them up just like this. Once I clear this out, I've got 8 and 74 hundredths minus 5 and 54 hundredths. Always make sure the decimals lined up, and then always make sure to the right of the decimal that they kind of match. If it's in tenths or hundredths, make sure they match that way. In this case, I'm good to just go ahead and start subtracting. 4 minus 4 is 0. 7 minus 5 is 2. Bring down that decimal, and then 8 minus 5 gives me 3. So that gives me an answer of 3 and 20 hundredths, which of course they're not going to give you that as an answer choice. They're going to make you work a little bit. So don't choose something that looks close to that. Instead, think of other ways you can represent that total, that value. I could write this as another type of decimal just by taking away a 0, 3 and 2 tenths. Okay, that may not be an answer choice. So then I can take those decimals and rewrite them as fractions. Write them just how you would say them. 3 and 20 hundredths, 3 and 2 tenths. And if I go back to my answer choices, 3 and 2 tenths minutes, D would be your answer. So there's a whole lot of opportunities where you could do great math and then not see your answer. You've got to know what to do next. So I really liked Tuesday's Fantastic Five. And Wednesday's may be very similar. So just remember your mental checklist and you'll be good on that. All right, we're going to go, we're going to cut in. We're going to bring Nyla in here to solve number 5. And she did an awesome job. Record. We're going. Here we go. All right. Very, very special guest today. We've got Nyla Savage, 4th grader in my class. Nyla, how are you doing?
Good.
Very good. All right. Before I have you do some math for me, I'm going to ask you a few questions. What has been your favorite thing so far about being home?
Lay it on the floor. I get it.
I don't know.
You don't know? Well, maybe you can answer this one. Has there anything about being home that you have not liked? A common answer. A lot of people have said they don't like that they've been stuck inside. Do you kind of relate to that? Some people like staying home.
Inside.
Yeah. Okay. My third question.
I
got you. Is there anything at home, anything special that you're doing to kind of help you stay organized with your classwork?
I wrote a checklist of my classwork. That way when I get done with it, I can check it because sometimes I forget and then I'm like, oh man, I have to do that.
That's very smart. You will be doing checklists for the rest of your life because I still do them. Good. All right. So now let's get down to it. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So you're going to do number 5 for us. I'm going to read it. I'll read the answer choices, and then I just want you to walk me through how you would solve it, and I'll work it out on the whiteboard. So the question says, there are boys and girls waiting in line to see Frozen 2. There are twice as many girls as there are boys. If there are 24 girls, how many boys and girls are waiting in all? So Nyla, let me get my whiteboard going here. And however you solve this, you let me know and I'll try to write it as you talk.
So I put a B and a G stacked on top of each other.
Having trouble connecting to
Hold on one second. Hey Alexa.
Take a look at the help section in your Alexa app.
Hey Alexa, can you leave me alone? That's what I thought. All right, so you said what one more time?
I put a B and a G stacked on top of each other.
All right.
And then I put 2 boxes for the G because it said twice as many girls.
Good.
And then I put 1 box for the B.
Awesome.
And then since it said 24 girls were there, I split the 2 boxes for like 24 divided by those 2 boxes, and I got 12, so I put 12 in each box.
Good. When it says there's 24 girls, that has to only do with the girls. So a lot of people will either take that 24 and split it by all 3 boxes, or they'll put 24 in both of those boxes. But if you've got 2 girl boxes, you got to split those 24 girls between them. So you got 12, which means there's 12 in every box. All right, good.
And then it said how many boys and girls were there in all. So I did 12 times the 3 boxes.
Good. So boys and girls, she sees the number 12 3 times. 12 times 3. And Nyla, what would you get?
36.
36. Nyla, awesome job. Thank you so much for coming on and helping us. Before I let you go, is there anything you want to say to the people?
I hope you have a
Every
good
time I
day.
ask this, everybody just goes, or they say no. Is there anything you want to say?
I hope you have a good day and you're healthy.
How about that? Great message. Everybody have a good day and be healthy. Nyla, thank you so much. And we'll have to do this again soon. See ya.
Bye.
All right, so right there, I can tell that Nyla pays attention in class, because if I can pull this whiteboard back up, she knew she saw twice, which made you think 2 times as many, made us think our box method. So you pulled out the 2 things that were being compared, boys and girls. Since twice as many girls, they got the 2 boxes. This part right here is where people probably got slipped up. If it says there's 24 girls, you got to split them up between the 2 boxes. That's why she did that division. As always, if you are interested in being a part of the show, reach out to me. We would love to have you. Thank you. And we're out. Maybe. Nyla, thank you. Great work, everybody. Thank you for watching. Good luck on today's Fantastic 5. Keep working hard. Keep watching these videos. Ask your teachers questions if you have them. Most importantly, don't drive your parents crazy. They're having a hard time with this just like we all are. So make life easy on them. That's your goal of the day. Thank you all, and we're going to catch you tomorrow.